Goodbye, BRAT Summer. Hello, CHROMAKOPIA Fall. So after a very quick but exciting rollout, Tyler the Creator's new album, CHROMAKOPIA, is out. It's been out for a little while. I think this came as a surprise for everyone. Tyler usually drops every 2 years, and he just put out the estate sale back in March 2023. So I wasn't anticipating an album until at least like mid-2025. Tyler, being the troll he is, even acted upset over people asking him to drop an album just a few weeks before he officially announced CHROMAKOPIA.
So that was a fucking lie.
You little stinker, you're so funny. Ha, you're so funny. So like I said, the album's out. It's been out for a while, and I didn't really like it.
I loved it.
Something I forgot to mention in that segment is how much money I have spent since the album's come out. Merch, vinyl, tour, oh my god, the tour. And bruh, look at me, I'm fucking CHROMAKOPIA down to the socks. I think the album is fantastic. I think it's a beautiful piece of art that meets our expectations for a Tyler album but subverts them in the same breath. Because we know that every Tyler album has a very specific vibe and aesthetic and sound to it, we can always anticipate that each album is going to bring that, but we never know exactly what we're going to get until we get it. CHROMAKOPIA rivals Flower Boy with being one of, if not, Tyler's most introspective album to date. The project dives into themes of maturing, coping with the loss of youth, parenthood, and much more. I don't typically like to speculate and put words in artists' mouths or misinterpret their concepts, but a lot of people seem to think that this album is inspired by the character Chroma the Great from the book The Phantom Toolbooth. Chroma is an orchestra conductor who brings color to the world with his music. We see that happening in many of the music videos, going from sepia to color. If I sound tired to you guys, it's 11:09 currently. So yes, I am tired. There's honestly not too much about this album that I dislike. As I was doing re-listens, specifically for criticism, I found myself just really enjoying the music and actually finding more things to appreciate about it.
Don't miss.
Does that make this album perfect? No, by no means is it perfect. It's not even Tyler's best, but that doesn't make it bad at all. I would say the most noticeable thing about the sound of this album is how it's honestly not as distinct as the sound of other Tyler albums are. Songs like Tomorrow and Like Him are very specific to CHROMAKOPIA, but there are a bunch of other songs on here that sound like they could have been a part of Call Me If You Get Lost. Ratata, Darling I, Hey Jane, and more have a lot of sonic similarities to that album that don't fully cement me in this album's specific vibe and aesthetic. That is definitely a nitpick and by no means makes the album worse. I just do think it's worth pointing out that all of Tyler's albums have these very distinct sounds to them, and this one does have that, but just not as much as the others. The good and bad thing about a super fast rollout like this album is the artist isn't playing any mind games with you, no mysterious post about, when they're going to be dropping. But in the same breath, you're also like, oh shit, wait, there's a new Tyler album, that's right. There's not much to critique about the songwriting on this album. I think it's strong as ever, and we'll get to that later. Same with the production. I think it's a nitpick to say that, a lot of it is similar to Call Me If You Get Lost, but it is true. Some people say that the aesthetic of this album is unsettling. I think it's because of the mask, and I think it's because it's specifically a mold of his face, so it's very uncanny valley. But yeah, I think this album's biggest problem is that it does have a lot of sonic resemblance to Call Me If You Get Lost. And if the worst thing about your new album is that a couple songs on it sound like your old album, you probably made a good album. I don't think you have much to worry about if that's my biggest critique. Reviews like this that come out even just a few weeks after the album's been out are honestly hard because you really do need to sit with an album for a while sometimes to really lay out some of the critiques. Sometimes you hear an album and you're like, this shit sucks, and you just know it right away. But with an album like this that I do think is very special, I'm sure that in a year I will have more to say about this album and the critiques I have on it. Usually Tyler albums don't fluctuate much in tone. If an album is dark, it's dark. If it's gay, it's gay. And sure, he has songs with different meanings, but the tone of those songs are usually consistent. On CHROMAKOPIA, the tone of the album is a little all over the place, but it doesn't feel distracting. The writing can be tough and braggadocious, or it can be very vulnerable and soft. The production can be bassy and make you want to punch strangers in the face, or it can be very somber and contained. The intro to the project and the name of the protagonist of the album, St. Chroma, is a mix of all of these tones. The hard stomping, the whispering, the beautiful vocals from Daniel Caesar, and then a literal explosion. The song is a perfect setup for how the rest of the album sounds. Songs like Ratata, Thought I Was Dead, and Sticky follow suit with these larger-than-life, bassy, explosive beats. They have great percussion that I feel is a bit reminiscent of Wolf to an extent. Especially Sticky with those building synths and just hard drops. Judge Judy and Tomorrow have very loose guitars and snappy drums. I actually happen to love this sound, and Tomorrow is my personal favorite song on the whole album. And maybe I'm going crazy, but is the end of Judge Judy not the end of Thank You? It has like a very similar drum pattern, and even with the synths. Like on Thank You, when it's like Judge Judy does the same thing, and then the drums like maybe I'm crazy, but even the themes kind of make sense of like, you know, hey, thank you for the love, thank you for the joy, but I'm never gonna fall in love again, and thank you for not judging me, but this can't last. Those 5 songs specifically have such distinct sounds, and honestly, if you played them for me without any kind of context, I wouldn't have guessed that they'd be from the same album. The slower moments on this album are great too, like the outro, I Hope You Find Your Way Home, and Like Him. Beautiful pianos, really nice harmonies, and those synths towards the end of each song really give this album like a singer-songwriter atmosphere that I feel like we haven't heard from Tyler before. The other songs on this album fall into similar categories, like the lead single Noid. It's very alternative, and it samples this song by the Ngauzi family from 1977. The guitar riffs are so harsh and tangible, you can feel them through the speakers. Another song similar to Noid in that it's so palpable is I Killed You. There's beautiful brass, a great melody that changes from guitar to keys, and again, those drums are so, like, I don't know what kind of mic he's using to record them, but it sounds so good. Darling I and Hey Jane are probably the most similar to Call Me If You Get Lost, instrumentally at least. They both have soft synths and really snappy drums, and Darling I is probably one of the more impressive songs on the album production-wise. It's beautifully arranged. Hey Jane is a little more lo-fi with those quick drums that provide a nice contrast to the song. Take Your Mask Off is so jazzy and feels the most like a live performance on this album. Really funky bass, really nice synths in the back of the mix, and these piano and drums that just really take their time. Balloon might be the silliest instrumental on the album, but I don't mean that in a bad way at all. That main lead is a lot of fun, and the background vocals are fantastic. As amazing as the production is on this album, I think it's overshadowed by the lyrics and performances that might be the best we've gotten from Tyler yet. The writing on this project is fantastic. He's got fucking Shakespeare looking over his shoulder like, can I see that please? Not a single bar is wasted, and each song has a bunch of memorable lyrics for one reason or another. Before I dive into the depth of some of the lyrics, I just want to rattle off a few that just scratch my brain right. Give a fuck about tradition, stop impressing the dead. Crib so big I need a diaper and a sippy cup. Was really odd future, all them other dudes whacked out. The biggest out the city after Kenny, that's a fact now. Nobody could fulfill me like this music shit does, so I'll be lonely with my Grammys when it's all said and done. Give a fuck about pronouns, I'm that dude and that bitch. 5 in the morning I be hating on shit. 10 in the evening I be hating on shit. No Met Gala but I'm everybody mood board. Don't even get me started on Doechii, we'll get to her. For all the bars on this album, there really is excellent writing that tells such a personal story. At the CHROMAKOPIA listening event, Tyler talked about how this was his most honest album to date, and the lyrics absolutely reflect that. A lot of the lyrics on this project follow the theme of parenthood. St. Chroma, along with a bunch of other songs on the project, start with an intro from Tyler's mother giving us something valuable. Also at the listening event, Tyler said that while making the album, he finally understood and could apply a lot of the advice his mother gave him as a kid.
That advice ranges from encouragement to be yourself to wear a condom. The songs that follow these themes the most are Hey Jane, Like Him, Tomorrow, and Mother. Hey Jane follows Tyler as he processes the shock of an unexpected pregnancy. The song is from his perspective and from his partner's perspective. They talk about their mixed emotions. They're reasonably stressed and scared, and Tyler is very hesitant to introduce that kind of responsibility in his life. On the other hand, we have his partner who's like, I could just raise this baby on my own. It's really no problem. Tyler's lyrics are so raw, and the two of them are just stuck in these emotions of fear, anxiety. Tyler is like, we don't even know if we could live together. How could we possibly have a kid together?
Are you fucking dumb?
And she's like, but I'm 35. What if I can't have another kid? A lot of people have also pointed out that Hey Jane is a healthcare company that provides reproductive and sexual care, including abortion pills. It's such a vulnerable song that really does not leave you with the most comfortable feeling, especially on repeat listens. Tomorrow is my favorite song on the whole album, and it starts with this message of Tyler's mother begging him for a grandchild, tying back to the themes on Hey Jane where he's already established that he's not ready to do so. He's so worried about the future. There are so many unknowns. He's physically aging, and so are the people around him, like his mother. My mother's hands don't look the same. These jet black strands are turning gray. Watching his mother age and watching people around him move to these new paths of life is causing him a lot of understandable stress. He has a very 808s and heartbreak moment on the album where he says, my Brody had another baby, that's like number 2. My homegirl, her knot tied, she like 32. They share in pictures of these moments, shit is really cute, and all I got is photos of my Rari and some silly suits. This song is so good and so relatable for so many people like me and my age who are trying to forge new paths and figure out what's best for us at this point in our lives. Like Him is probably the most heartbreaking song Tyler has ever written. The song starts with Tyler's mother talking about how he resembles his father a lot. You know, his body, his arms, his feet. Despite his father not being present while he grew up, Tyler still inherited parts of him. He wonders what his life and his mother's life could have been like if he was still in the picture. Tyler has spent his life chasing a ghost, coping with grief, love, and loss. The most heartbreaking part of the song comes at the end, where Tyler's mother confesses to him that his father wanted to be part of his life, and that he actually wasn't such a bad dude, but because she was young and because of pride, and I'm sure a bunch of other reasons, you know, she just figured she could raise Tyler on her own, and she did. This realization recontextualizes Tyler's whole career. So much of his early music was built off of this resentment for his father who abandoned him. I can't imagine as an adult learning that that guy actually wanted to be a part of my life, but my mother's pride got in the way. Tyler's mother asks for his forgiveness on the song, and I'm sure he's still making peace with this. Tyler showcases so much pain in not wanting to be the kind of person that he thought his father was. And when the lyrics of the chorus change to "Do I look like him?" to "I don't look like him," it's like such a desperate plea to not turn out like his father. It's probably the strongest song on the album, and one of the best Tyler the Creator songs ever. Mother is the physical exclusive song where Tyler talks about his upbringing and his mother's upbringing and how that affected how she raised him. He talks about the hardships that she had to go through in her life and how that made her the person she is. I love the structure of this song. I love how the first verse is about his upbringing and the third verse is about his mother's upbringing and the differences between them. While parenthood is mentioned on other songs on the album, it's those songs that deal with it the most. Most of the other things on this project have a lot of other really interesting things to say. Noid dives into Tyler's paranoia and how he is so scared of being murdered by a fan. And that's not an irrational fear. We see a lot of celebrities be stalked and harassed by people. And we've seen celebrities be murdered by those stalkers before. I actually want to give a little side story because I've experienced something similar firsthand. I used to work at a theater, and one night we had a show for the artist Grouper, shout out to her. Typical protocol was having a bunch of security guards in different places, and specifically one right outside of her green room. There's a stairwell that leads directly to the green room that goes up the whole building on the side, but you need a key to access it. Every door to that stairwell is automatically locked. You can't unlock it, you need a key. So you have to imagine our surprise when some random guy stumbles up the fucking stairwell right outside of her green room and says, "Oh hey, I'm here to see Liz."
Who?
Security guard calls me and says, "Was she expecting anyone?" And I was like, "No, she didn't say anything." So I go into the green room and I'm like, "I'm so sorry to bother you, but there's someone outside claiming that they're here to see you, and they somehow got in, like, you know, through the back door." And she like pokes her head out like to look through the glass, and she's like, "I've never seen that person before."
We don't disrespect women. Get the fuck out of here.
So security threw his ass out so fast. But it's crazy to me because, like, he used her first name and he got in to a place where he probably knew damn well he was not allowed. But yeah, honestly, this song like reminds me of that experience. So like anyone thinking that like celebrities sometimes are like over dramatic when it comes to their safety, like, they're not. Sorry. Anyway. Darling I is masked as this poppy love song, but it's really a song about commitment issues and freedom in relationships and self-awareness. Tyler talks about how he doesn't really think he could be with just one person forever because he gets so many different things from different people. I Killed You is a really interesting song about black people and their relationship with their hair. It's only very recently that certain laws were passed so that black people can wear their hair naturally and not violate a dress code for work or school or anywhere else. The song talks about how this negative view of hair pressures people to kill it. That negative view makes them feel like they should have more traditional haircuts that make white people more comfortable.
Them crackers.
Your natural state is threatening is talking about how non-black people don't understand the way black people's hair grows, and for some reason they are disgusted by it and they think that they need to like tame it for some reason. Judge Judy might be my least favorite song on the album, but I do enjoy it. This song is so horny. Horny jail. I'm a Mac Miller fan, so moaning at the end of a song is nothing new for me. I've been in the trenches. But this song has lots of themes of sexual freedom, and then it takes a turn when the character Judy fucking dies. She talks about cancer spreading to her head and how she's probably already dead by the time that he reads the letter. It's like that fucking Christmas movie, Christmas with the Cranks, where it's like a weird Christmas movie and then all of a sudden one of the characters is like, "The cancer's back. It's back again for the 30th time." Like, bro, what cancer? Sticky. There's not much lyrically here, but I love it. The features are great. They're not the best features on the album, we'll get to that one later, but they are great. Each artist is so bold and they kind of reiterate how no matter how sticky things can get, they're ready to face it head on. Take Your Mask Off is another song that's symbolic of so many of the album's themes of identity and people struggling with their identity. Tyler talks about how everyone, including himself to an extent, wears a mask. He talks about the suburban kids who think they're tough because they listen to hip-hop. You know, the kids who on the 4th of July go, "Yo, I don't know if those are fireworks." He talks about closeted gay men who wear a mask of self-hatred, preaching anti-gay sentiments but living that life behind closed doors. And he talks about the sacrifices women are just expected to make in society for men. Have a baby, change your name, give up on any hope or aspirations you have because this is your life now. The last verse is about Tyler and his mask. Even though he's had such a successful career, there's this shadow of self-doubt that still follows him. He mentioned at the listening event that he felt that he was being so honest on his album that he had to wear a mask of himself to get it all out. Thought I Was Dead still does not have the best feature, but it definitely comes close. Tyler talks about not being able to trust everyone in the industry and that everyone is not your friend. He doesn't want to be found and he is not down. I'm gonna probably start hitting that shit at parties. I'm gonna kick that real quick. While Balloon is not one of my top tracks, it would be foolish to not acknowledge Doechii as the best feature on the project. After an amazing solo album, a Kendrick Lamar cosign, and this great feature on Tyler's project, she is on top of the world. And Grammy nominations, that's right, I think she's up for a few Grammys, so yeah, she's definitely deserving. Her lyrics are great and hilarious, her delivery is fantastic. Like other songs on here, Tyler talks about his work ethic, his ambitions, how he has no tolerance for fake people or fake energy. The outro to the album, I Hope You Find Your Way Home, feels like an answer to Call Me If You Get Lost. Where Call Me If You Get Lost was Tyler telling us to get lost, give in to our own personal luxuries, and live life to the fullest extent. He kind of ropes us back in here because eventually you do have to go home and face some realities. Not only is the outro of Tyler's mother telling him how proud she is of him beautiful, the album also loops here. The last thing you hear on the project, besides the chants, is Tyler's mother telling you to keep shining. And on St. Chroma, she comes back and says that you are the light and to never dim that light for anybody. It's a fantastic and really clever way to end the whole project.
I've heard a lot of chit chat about this album the past few weeks. Okay? People saying it's mid, people saying it's not good, people saying it's not that special, and I could not disagree more.
You're all fucking stupid!
There have been a lot of comparisons to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes I think people can be a little delusional with expectations. Like they think the album is going to be stacked with features with people who haven't dropped music in years, or that every song is going to be this energetic like banger that you're going to jump up and down to. In my opinion, there's nothing missing from this album. It does what every other Tyler album has done thus far. It paints us an amazing picture about his current headspace and the aesthetics and sounds that he's interested in right now. If you don't like the album, that is totally fine, but like it for real reasons, like it just maybe not being your vibe, not because fucking Frank Ocean wasn't on it, as expected. With all of that being said, here's the tracklist ranking. I'm thinking 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. No, actually, fuck that. 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. I love this album. It's great. It's fantastic. 8.5 out of 10.
Now, many people have been asking me where I put CHROMAKOPIA in my original Tyler ranking. And to be honest, I don't know.
Fuck!
My original Tyler ranking from 3 years ago, holy shit, can stay the same. I still feel the same exact way about all those albums to this day. But if I had to fit CHROMAKOPIA in there, I think I would put it like, I don't know, either in like the 3rd or the 4th spot. So either before Call Me If You Get Lost or after Call Me If You Get Lost. And I think for now, and keep in mind that opinions can change, I'm gonna put it at number 4. CHROMAKOPIA ranks at number 4 for me, right now.
Thank you so much for watching. I tried to get this video out as soon as possible as to not submit to the average drewsome upload schedule. What did you think of CHROMAKOPIA? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Join our Discord. We talk about music all the time, and we have been talking about CHROMAKOPIA for a while too. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah! Bye.